Hi, my name is Brenda Dunnigan, and on behalf of Deb and Gino and myself, I'd like to welcome you to midlifedoover.com. When we were researching for this particular venture that we decided to do together, we kept coming across things that were talking about the midlife crisis, the midlife physical changes. We all know about that. We've heard about it for years, but what you seldom hear about are the changes, the good changes that come at midlife. It's that time when you look at life and you look at where you are and you say, is this where I want to be in 5 years? Is my life purposeful? Deb and I both did that, and we came to a conclusion that there was more we were supposed to do. So each of us have found our way into what we feel is our purpose, and we hope to help you find yours. And one good question to ask yourself is, have you ever thought, there's something I'd like to do? I've always wanted to do this. That's where we both were. I've always wanted to do this. And we got the answer to it. And as we found the answer of what fits us and our purpose, we're able to help other people find their purpose and contribute to their purpose and helping them find their way. As for me, when I was a child, I used to love being at my grandparents' house. I would wake up in the morning to the smell of breakfast cooking. There were always people coming and going, gathered around the table, enjoying the food. It was just such a warm and inviting place to be. I loved it there. My grandmother was the bookkeeper for my grandfather's business. He was a contractor. And so the room that I stayed in, I spent a lot of time sitting at the desk, which I had until just recently, by the way. But I'd spent a lot of time sitting at the desk playing with the calculator. I was fascinated with that. My aunt was in high school, and she had a manual typewriter. Some of you still remember what those are like. She had a manual typewriter, and I would play with that. I was just very, very young. And the other thing I did, and this got me into big trouble, was my aunt, again, she was just a teenager in high school at the time, she had a pink plastic clothes hamper with a lid on it, and the lid had squares that were raised. Well, I thought it needed a little embellishment, so I found a black magic marker and I proceeded to color in the tiles around the squares. I thought it was a big improvement. She didn't. So that's how I started. That's kind of where I was. By the time I was 5, I begged for my first sewing machine, and I got a Singer Featherweight, which is now an antique. But the things that I enjoyed doing at that age, I realize now are part of who I am. Life goes on and you get busy, and it's good. You do things along the way that you're supposed to do. But sometimes we lose who we really are. Who I really was someone who loves being at home, doing creative things, writing, calculating, running an office, things like that. But I wanted to be at home. Instead, I spent 25 years in a cubicle. I don't regret it. It was a good experience. But I always wanted to work from home. I always wanted to work, but I always wanted to work from home. That was important to me for some reason. And so this year, I got my do-over. You see, here I am at home, and I'm working. And my goal was to be at this stage, working from home, or anywhere actually, because I'm mobile, I can work from anywhere, but to be at this stage before the first snow flew. Well, that was December 1st, and this is now December 27th. So I'm really excited. I got my do-over. I still have other things I want to do over, but that's the big one. And so Deb and I hope that whatever your dream is, whether it's writing a book or learning to do art, paint, take up a hobby, join or start a ministry, do something meaningful with your life. Believe me, it's a journey. It takes a lot of work, a lot of peeling of the onion, as you see in one of my blogs, to get there. But it is really worth the effort. So we're here to help you with that, support you. And Deb is an amazing person. She is very successful as a businesswoman, but also very successful in her personal business. And her personal business is to help people figure out how they're wired and what their strengths are, and to put those strengths to use to do something really meaningful for them. And even though we talk a lot about what fits you and what you can do, what your dream is, it's really about finding your purpose and serving others. And I can tell you from experience, I'm just at the beginning of it, but there's nothing like it. And that's what we wish for you. Welcome.